y'all? It's your boy Mello. We here. We back with another episode on you Deadass podcast. Today I'm with my boy HollyWood Cole.
My guy.
I appreciate you.
What's up with it?
We did a lot to do this right here and getting it together, but we here. So I want you to first of all, you're the first guest that's not from New York. That's on this platform. So, you know, but you got ties to the city, so
right.
We made it work. We made it happen.
For sure.
So tell them what you do and when you started doing it.
So my name is HollyWood Cole, music producer. Yeah, man, I just been making music. It's been a couple years now. I started when I got to college. Like, I kind of always just been like a kid that was kind of like into music. You know what I'm saying? Like from like mixtape days, from like when niggas was like Lil Wayne type shit and Big Sean and shit like that. So that kind of transitioned to me going to college and then like making shit. I was DJing like slick. I was DJing. You know what I mean? Like it came from like me like downloading mixtapes in high school to me being in school and college. I went to Virginia State, but I was doing parties and shit. Like me and my boys, we would throw like a lot of parties and shit like that. And I was DJing. This is like before like I even had like a turntable, shit like that. So I was just kind of like fucking with music, bro. And then my boy Sledge, he was on a program called FL Studio. So he kind of he introduced me to FL, and really after that, like once I kind of like he showed me that, like I kind of just kept like learning the craft. It just kind of kept progressing. So it really started from being in high school to like being a kid that was into like making mixtapes to being in college, you know, and making DJing and stuff like that. So
Oh, so my fault. You're supposed to tell us originally where you from.
Oh, my bad.
No,
okay. Yeah, so I'm originally from the West Coast. I was born in Seattle, but I grew up I lived in Boston for a little bit. So lived in Boston for like maybe like 9-10 years of my life, and then I lived in Boston, and then
How was that?
That shit was cool. It was cool, bro. It was like coming from the West Coast. Like I left the West Coast. I left Seattle when I was like kindergarten, and then from Seattle to Boston, that was like kindergarten up until like 6th, 7th grade. So like that's when like it was just I was exposed to more so like East Coast, East Coast music. So more so like boom bap and like Fat Joe and like Ja Rule, more so like an East Coast sound. So from being from the West Coast, going to the East Coast, living there for like 9-10 years, and then transitioning to Virginia, where like I pretty much grew up. Like it just, it was just kind of like a whole. I feel like it makes me more of like more of a cultural producer. It's kind of like more so like a melting pot for me. But it was cool though. I love Boston, bro. Like be going to like the Puerto Rican Day Festival, and like like all that type of shit. So
see, I ain't gonna lie, like I don't know. In my mind, I have this idea of Boston just being the most racist town or city in the North.
Yeah, I mean it is. I'm not gonna hold you. I was so young to like really understand and kind of see like the racist acts in Boston. But I mean, from what mom told me, it was racist, bro. Like it's nothing but white people. It's like a handful of like Caribbean and black people. So as a kid, I didn't really experience that from what my mom told me, it was like it was racist for sure. But I look at it just like, obviously it's not New York, but it's like I look at it as like a baby New York because of just like being
Same
like
vibes,
like more so on the East Coast, coming from like the West Coast, So, but it was cool. Like I said, I really grew up in Virginia. That was really like like my upbringing for real. It was really Virginia, but I mean, I'm just like I said, I'm from the West. I lived in Boston for a little bit, and then pretty much grew up in Virginia. So, like I said, I look at myself as just like more so like a culture producer, So from being in the West, originally from the West, growing up in the East a little bit, and then transitioning to the South. So and now I'm in Atlanta now,
So me and Shane was talking about it yesterday, right? And I told Shane, I convinced Shane to go to VSU because I thought I was going to VSU. That's what happened. So I got accepted. I told him like, yo, bro, like we out to VSU, like it's a HBCU. It's gonna be lit. That was my whole thing. Like, it's gonna be OD lit. Yeah. He applied. He got in. So what happened was that I ended up not getting financial aid. You feel me? So I done went and I done visited the school and did all this thinking I'm going, and they slapped me with no financial aid, just curbed me. You feel me? And then that's how y'all ended up being roommates, cause when we went down there, we went down there.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
We went down there and all, and they show you like where you rooming at, who your roommate and shit. Like, you feel me? So he dad reminded me like, yo, like when we went, like we was about to we looking at the paper like Cam, like nigga, we packing this Cam nigga up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's old film. Like, we swapping rooms and shit. Like, you feel me? So that's just crazy how the butterfly effect happened, cause you know, it might have not even been the same if I had went. Like, you feel me? Like, it might have been different. Like,
Right. That's crazy.
Word.
Man, State was some.
Yeah, let's talk about
some of the best times of shit in my life for real, bro. Like I said, that's where I kind of got introduced to really, like, you know, producing. Like I said, shout out my boy Sledge. Like I said, he introduced me to FL Studio, and I kind of just like kept it going from there. But yeah, man, college was like probably some of the best years of my life. Like I met some of my best friends, you know, known these dudes for like 10, 12, 12 plus years. So college was lit, man. And I think the thing with college too, like I didn't finish school, but I wound up dropping out. But still, from like me being there, just like it was like some of the best years for me because I was just I was exposed to like so much, like as far as like just kind of like different cultures, you know, like a lot about like the thing is with like our group of like homies that like we really like rock with, like it's people from like the east to like up north New York to like the west. Like we kind of just had like a whole melting pot and just like, you know, like niggas that we fuck with, you know. So that shit was cool. Like it was, like I said, we used to wild out. You been there, yeah. You was there, yeah. You was there in the golden years, yeah.
I for sure definitely enjoyed myself down there as well. Like,
I feel like you came to a few parties, nigga. I think I was DJing and just still like just parlaying, just kicking it. Yeah,
for sure,
so,
for sure.
But yeah, shout out to State, man. State was like I said, some of the best years of my life. Just like growing up as a young man too, you know. So that shit was lit.
So you remember like your first beats you made, like or like, yeah? Do you remember like your first beat? Like
it's terrible.
It was terrible.
Terrible.
I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking like, yo, I remember Shane telling me that you was making beats and shit. Yeah. And I remember you pulling up like, yo, like, yeah, I make beats, like listen to my shit. Like, and I was listening and I was like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Like, you feel me? But it's like I was listening to somebody the other day and they said like you never start off great at something. Like, you know, when you first start, it's like you're a beginner at it. You can't just think that you're gonna be the best right out the gate. Like you gotta put in that work too. Yeah. So you experienced that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all part of just like the I mean, I call it the beautiful struggle, bro. Like it's all part of the grind. Like, you know, like it started out from me being with the homies in the dorm room and like having one speaker and like making beats on that speaker. And we all think that shit is hot, bro, but that shit is really trash. Like my snare was like super loud and my kicks were like pan to the right and my 808s was like flat. So it's just like, you know, but you know, we didn't know. You know, we just having fun. We just making music. Like I'm just making beats and my boys, they just rapping on that shit. Like we didn't have a mic. We just kind of recording probably into the computer. You know what I mean? So that was kind of just a part of the journey. But I feel like, man, if you don't get that, like, I feel like right now, like in today's time, I feel like it's very, I feel like kids nowadays, I feel like they think it's just like overnight. Yeah, like it's very like overnight. And it's just like, man, I interned, like I went from making mixtape as a kid in high school to DJing a little bit to like learning FL to like, you know, making beats in school, but also like when I came to Atlanta, I was interning. And I feel like a lot of kids like kind of they want to like skip that step as far as like paying your dues. And I feel like paying dues is like very important, you know, because it's just like, man, it's not overnight, and it's just like, you know, you gotta put that work in, you know. So.
And I feel like when you get it overnight, you lose it like that too, like. Yeah. Because you ain't really work for it, so you don't really understand the importance of the position that you in. You know what I'm saying? Like, even a lot of like, I hate to say it like this, but I feel like an example of that is like Chief Keef. Like, you feel me? Like his success just like happened like before our eyes. He didn't really like develop and grow, and you ain't see no long history with him. He kind of just came straight out the gate to like greatness in his own sound and shit like that.
I mean,
and then niggas got tired of it, and then kind of like you don't really hear from him that much no more. Even though he's still a great, like you feel me, but it's just like that overnight success is like I don't really feel like it is sufficient enough in the long term.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not sufficient. Like I said, like you said, like in the long run. But I don't know, bro. Like we don't know Keith personally,
right?
And I feel like what we kind of saw, we saw him from being like what he started when he was like 15, 16, house arrest type shit, and he was like, you know what I mean? So like now he's probably what 26, 27, give or take. I don't know, but I feel like with Keith, I mean, just to talk about him, I feel like we kind of saw. To what we could see, I feel like we kind of saw some of the journey, and you know, in my opinion, you know, I think for him, I mean, just like looking at it from a consumer standpoint, I don't really feel like it was overnight, but you know.
Well, I'm not saying like overnight, but it was like he didn't really have the long grind that a lot of people have to have because that sound was so fresh. That drill shit was, he kind of introduced it to us.
No, he did,
and niggas was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, this shit was mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So he didn't really have that, I gotta put out 7 tapes type shit, like to where niggas is really like, I gotta listen to this.
Yeah.
He just,
I get that,
like, you feel me? It was like instant.
Yeah.
Like, But have you ever thought about being a rapper? Like, did you start off rapping and shit like that?
Nah, bro, I always was just making beats. I may have fucked around, you know, fucked around on the mic, but nah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good with just the beats. It's funny because I kind of been getting into like doing references, so like getting more comfortable on the mic and like doing references for like artists and stuff and artists. Excuse me, but as far as like me being a rapper, no, I'm good. I'm cool.
I feel like a lot of some producers now, like. Even they might start off as producers, but I feel like they get so tired of the producing game, like in the politics, that I feel like they just start like, man, I'm just rapping.
Yeah, I mean, like even like my guy Sonny Digital, like he just signed with Generation Now. That's who Uzi and Jack Harlow, Seti Hendrix, there's a few people signed to.
That's DJ Drama shit.
DJ Drama and Cannon, Don Cannon, but yeah, Sonny. I mean, I believe he's still making beats, but he's kind of transitioning to like being like a full blown artist, you know. So I mean, I think that shit is fire, you know. I think that shit is cool, but me per se, I kind of see myself more so like a Pharrell or like a Timbo, just like, you know, well, more so maybe Timbo, because Timbo was never like a full blown artist, you know. Maybe I don't know what lies for me ahead, but as of right now, I'm just kind of more so making music, making the beats, and like doing some ad libs or like something every now and then.
Just to spark shit,
ideas and all that. Yep. So.
And what you think about like moving to Atlanta? So how does that happen? Like, what made you make that move to Atlanta? Man,
it's really my mom, bro. Like prior, so I was in school from like 2010 to like 2015 time. But like I said, I had dropped out of school. I had mentioned that earlier, but basically, I had got into like a little trouble at school. Like I got like a DUI and shit. So like basically, after that, bro, like I really kind of dropped out of school for real. After that, I moved back up to Northern Virginia with my auntie, staying with her, and I was just kind of working on music, like still learning the craft, working on music, and basically like my mom, she had moved to Atlanta maybe like 2 years prior to me coming out here, but she always kind of mentioned me. She was like, man, I feel like you would just do really, really good in Atlanta, and I was like, nigga, that shit was going in like one ear and out the other. Like I had a girl at the time. I was like, man, I'm not trying to come to Atlanta. But what it was, I came to visit her like I think it was like Christmas. Came to visit, and I already kind of had like a mutual friend, like a friend out here, but he had some mutual homies that I was cool with. So, nigga, the first time like I came to Atlanta, like them niggas, they took me to Follies. They just closed Follies, but Follies is a strip club.
Follies is closed?
Bro, no, it's closed now. But at the time, they took me to Follies, they took me to Top Golf, and they took me to the studio all in the same day. So after that, I was like, yo, I was sold. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I've never, you know what I mean? Like, and mind you, that was my first time being in like a real studio in it, you know, like ever in my life, you know? So it's just like going to the strip club, seeing the strip club culture in Atlanta, to like going to Top Golf, fucking around, and then going to the studio. I was like, damn, this is crazy. So after that, I was kind of sold, bro, and then it kind of worked out because my auntie, she had a friend that was cool with drama, and so prior to me even actually moving here, she kind of made the play for me to be able to intern for them. So when I actually did move here, I was able to start interning, and that's where like I met Drama. You know, I met him in person, and then maybe like 2 days later, I had an interview to be able to become an intern. So and interning was probably like, you know, shit, probably one of the best things I could have done.
Explain that experience of interning over there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
what it did for you.
Yeah. I feel like me being there at the time, I feel like that was like the golden era, just like Atlanta and just like Mean Street Studio. Like I was around Playboy Cardi before Cardi blew up. You know, like I was able to see Savage when he first dropped like Savage Mode, like his first tape. I was around Metro early. I was able to kind of just be like a sponge and just kind of like soak game, you know, just kind of just be around. And I feel like one of the things too that helped me a lot just from being in the studio was just kind of being exposed to like the producer lifestyle. So kind of just like seeing how to move, like, you know, just kind of knowing when to like come in the room or just, you know, not being like fanned out, you know what I'm saying? Like when you see people, and it's just like, I think all that shit kind of helped me and it kind of molded me to like the producer I am today, you know? And just, I mean, shit is just like, and the thing is too, just like everybody's not able to just be around a Don Cannon, you know? Cannon, you know, he's a legend, bro. Like he's produced from Jeezy to Uzi to, you know, like the list kind of ranges.
Yeah,
you know?
I peeped that, you know, cause you know I be paying attention in production a little bit, so I peeped that he does like make beats and makes fire production for a lot of artists. Like,
from Herbo,
not just a DJ. Like,
nah, he's active. Like Drama's more so the face and more and the DJ, but like Cannon he's a DJ, but he was a producer first if I'm not mistaken. So it's just like, you know, he did Numbers on the Board for Push, like he's done a lot of shit, you know. So he used to A&R at Def Jam at one time, so he's kind of got just like the business aspect as far as like A&R, but also like he makes beats. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, he's a legend, bro.
So you mentioned that a couple of the artists that you saw in the studio when you was interning, and I assume, like, if my timeline is correct in my head, that this is like 21 putting out Savage Mode. So you know that was like before him being a star, and then him rising to be like
who he is now.
That nigga, like, you feel me? Uzi, not really being a star, to him being that nigga, like, you feel me? Playboy Cardi, nobody really knowing him, and then he dropping all that shit and him being that nigga. So like, how was it seeing that, like, and like seeing the transition of, like, damn, like now this nigga is like the guy, like, you feel me?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like it's like magic, bro. You know, that shit is just cool. It's just cool just to see like the journey, you know, because like I said, when I got there, this is when Uzi, I think he had just dropped like Love Is Rage 1, you know, so like it was in between that time when he was doing like a few mixtapes, like I think he did the Gucci mixtape, but it was just magic, bro, because like it was the Uzis, it was Cardi when he first linked up with Pierre, but it's funny because before I even got to Mean Streets, I was interning for maybe a month or two at this other studio called 12 Studio, and that's when I met Pierre as an engineer. He was an engineer, and this is when he was working with Young Nudie. You know, he was working with Nudie, but he was working with Nudie on some like late night shit. So it's just like me transitioning from like being at that studio to like Mean Street. It's just like it was magic, bro. Like I seen, you know, like a lot of fire artists, a lot of fire producers. So I was just exposed to a lot, you know. So like I said, I feel like it all kind of ties into like the producer, helps me, you know, tied into the producer that I am today.
So we gotta put it out there, because I be saying like you too humble you too modest. It's cool though, like it got you where you at.
Yeah.
But you do got great placement. The Drakes. Let's you gonna name some.
Yeah.
The Drake, Lil Wayne, G Herbo, Meek Mill, Jack Harlow.
Yep.
Who else you got out there?
Buddy, Isaiah Rashad. Shit, you said Jack Harlow. Meek Mill. You said Herbo. Yeah, bro.
So
a few joints.
Right. Respectful. So
joints, yeah.
How your first big? I want to say the one that BB King freestyle. I feel like that was the one. I think G Herbo was before that.
Nah, it
wasn't.
It was BB King first, then Herbo came like literally right after.
Oh, right after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So BB King. One, explain that story? How does that happen?
Yeah, so I mean, shit, that was pandemic time. To make a long story short, I was making beats, bro. I was staying at my auntie's crib at the time in Atlanta, and basically just making beats. And this was a time when I was trying to figure out like how I could kind of stay active during the pandemic time. So making beats, bro, and my pops, he was on me. He was telling me, he was like, man, you need to start going live during the pandemic. So mind you, before that, in February of 2020, I had dropped a song with my boy Childish Major called Wifey, right? So after we dropped that, Boy Wonder had actually maybe a couple weeks later, a week later, I can't remember, but he had hit me. He was like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, your shit's fire. And left it at that. Like, I didn't DM like saying like, yo, I got beats for Drake, nothing like that.
Right.
So
that was your first contact?
And first interaction was via, online, via Instagram. So February, dropped the song with Childish Major, and so fast forward to April around my birthday, I went on live again, and Wonder had hopped into my Instagram live. So hopped into my live, and long story short, like I ended the live, and basically he hit me, he was like, yo, he was like, man, send me some shit for Drake. Like he said that in the, like, yeah, he DM'd me, he was like, yo, send me some shit for Drake. Crazy, bro. So like, nigga, I'm scrambling, I'm just like, yo, like I don't know what to send him. I'm like, man, like, I was overthinking, but basically I sent them like a couple beats towards like the end of the day. But it's crazy because prior to me even linking with Wonder, I was working with my boy Quentin Miller. So backstory, I had got connected to Quentin Miller through my boy Peso and J-Dot. When I first moved to Atlanta, I connected with them, and then I made a mixtape with them. But QM was cool with Peso and J-Dot. So fast forward back to April, Wonder hit me in my DM. He was like, yo, send me some shit for Drake. And I sent him maybe like 6 beats or whatever. Yeah, like six joints. Yeah, like six joints. And he hit me and he was like, yo, I heard this one joint, and the one beat that I sent him was fast forward. It's a crazy story, but it wound up being Meek Mill's fucking with me, right? So back to after April, sent him some beats, whatever. Kept the relationship going throughout the whole summer, and then I was in LA at the end of 2020, like around, I want to say September. Was in LA, working. I was working with like a lot of TDE artists at the time. I got invited to like a TDE like writing camp. So like it was more so like.
Did you meet Kendrick?
Nah, I never got a chance to meet Die yet. Nah, I never met Kendrick. But yeah. So I was out there working with like a lot of the younger artists or whatever, and that's when it's crazy how the whole story. But I got connected to Isaiah Rashad around the same time. So in the midst of me working with TDE. Wonder was out there, right? This all tied into the BB King. So I was in LA, and I was working with TDE, like some of the younger artists, and basically at one point I hit Wonder, and I was like, yo, like I'm in LA. I said, man, like if we can get in the studio, you know what I'm saying, let's definitely try to do that. But if not, like let's go to dinner, let's catch a drink, whatever. So he hit me. He was like, man, super busy, but let's get some food. So wound up getting some food. Crazy restaurant, we chopped it up, we had some drinks, kicked it or whatever, and at the end of the night, I had a whip, and he didn't have a car when he was in LA. So basically, after we had dinner, I was like, yo, I said, man, I can take you to the hotel. So got in the whip, and mind you, like, he's playing me like TSU before style. He's playing me Lemon Pepper Freestyle before it's out. I'm in the whip driving. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, damn, like, crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, in the midst of him playing me music, I finally get him to his hotel, and I'm just like, yo, like, and he was working, I can't remember who he was working with at the time. It might have been, can't remember, but he was working with somebody. But anyway, I was like, man, I got this beat, I just want you to hear it. He's sitting next to me. He was like, yo, play it. So I play it for him, maybe like 10 seconds into the beat. He's like, yo, send it, like airdrop it to me right now. So I send it to him, and bro, maybe like a week later, he was like, yo,
It's done?
yeah, he, like basically he was like, yo, Drake is using this. At the time, I didn't know it was Wayne, I didn't know it was for No Ceilings 3. So then, maybe 2 days after he tells me that, he sends me the record. This is like raw Drake vocals. So, nigga, I had the song for maybe a couple weeks even prior to it even being BB King freestyle. So I have like the actual just Drake reference, not even reference, but Drake verse. Yeah, like on my phone. I'm just like crazy. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, it's lit. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, it's over with. But that shit, it was just a crazy experience, bro. From like from meeting him from social media to like connecting in LA to then him sending the beat to Drake, and you know that shit finally coming out, and then actually being for Wayne. And it was, and mind you, that was like the first song that they put out in like a couple years, like this collab shit, you know. So I'm glad I was able to bring them together, you know. So, but that's
and
how.
And then that was on Carter 5 too, right? Was it on Carter 5? No,
it was on No Ceilings 3. So it came out. No Ceilings 3 came out first as like a mixtape on that Piff, and then maybe like a couple weeks later they dropped it as a single, the only single off of No Ceilings 3.
Okay.
On all the streaming. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
And then DJ Khaled spinning your shit 50 times in his video.
Crazy.
I saw it, man. He's
crazy. It's crazy, bro, because I didn't even, like, my boy, he had tagged me in the video on Twitter. I didn't even know, like, I had no idea that, you know what I mean? Like, that it was even out in the world. Like, my boy tagged me. Bro, I had no idea. I'm at the crib chilling. And then I see my Twitter, and he tagged me, he's like, Cole, you stupid. And I see the video, I'm like,
I'm out of here.
This is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, bro.
So Drake could have had the fucking with me beat as well.
Yeah.
How many stories of that do you have where like you sent these niggas beats and niggas might pick side notes and then somebody else like, damn.
Really, I mean, yeah, really my focus drop, really that's the main story is really the Drake and really that's really the main story.
I feel like no funny shit, like not even cause it's you, but I feel like that's one of the highlights of that album. A Meek Mill shit. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that. I ain't gonna lie. I be playing like I sit there. I play that shit for my mans. Like I remember I played it for my cousin. He didn't hear Meek Mill album yet. So you know, we skimming through it. He like, nah, this shit alright. This shit fire. Man, that shit came on.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, this is crazy. Cause they both snap.
Herbo crazy.
Yeah.
Who you think got a better verse?
I think Meek got the better verse. I think Meek last verse is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Cause he got two verses, right? He got the first one and he go after first.
Yeah, his second verse is a little bit shorter, but yeah, he had two on there.
Yeah. I think Weezy outdid Drake.
You think so?
I ain't gonna lie. At first, I think he did way better than him, but then I heard it again, and I'm like, nah, Drake fake snap. But I don't know. That felt like Vince's beat. Like you gotta like.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I got a verse.
Weezy verse. Like that wasn't no play shit.
Yeah. Like I definitely caught a verse. So
you think Drake had the better verse than that?
Yeah. But the thing is too, Drake, he had a longer verse too. Like he definitely rapped longer. I feel like we was talking about this shit like last time y'all was out here. Like months ago, but Drake definitely rapped longer, but I feel like Drake had a better verse.
Nah, I ain't gonna. Weezy verse was too crazy. Yeah.
No,
and his flow was just I feel like when he started going crazy, he just started.
Nah, he snapped. But it's crazy because when like remember I had the song before Wayne was on it, so like I didn't even know like. You know, I feel like now you never know what you're gonna get from Wayne. It could have been like crazy auto-tune Wayne, you know what I mean? But he went crazy, so shout out to Wayne and Drake. They both snapped.
So, what about Herbo? That Herbo was crazy too.
Thank you.
That was great. What's the story about that? You got it still.
Yeah, so shout out to Cannon. Don Cannon, he laced me with a whole bunch of like old samples and stuff. So the old Dipset, I really mean it. That was just a sample. I never really heard anybody else like try to flip it again, flip it before. So that was just another beat I just had. I kind of chopped the sample up. I had some different drums on it before I got a chance to meet Southside. But I was in LA. I was with my manager and one of Herb's. His name is Dash. He works for RCA. His name is Dash. But basically, dope A&R. He found Not a Wick. But basically, Dash had hit my manager and he was like, "Yo, I want to get Cole and Herb in the studio." So I went to the studio. We was in LA. I can't remember the studio, but in LA, got a chance to meet her. We was kicking it, bro. Like we was kind of just chopping it up, like how we are right now. Like prior to us even playing beats for him, and in there kicking it. And I played him like a couple joints. He chose a couple beats, but that beat wasn't even the beat that I played him, right? So after that session, like I said, I played him some joints. I got his number, and then maybe like the next day, I think it was the next day. I sent him that beat, and then he texted me. He was like, "Yo, I'm about to record this shit right now." So, like I said, like when I first met him, that wasn't even the beat that I played for him. Right. I didn't play that beat until the day after. Yeah, the day after I met him, and day after I met him, he started. Like I said, he fucked with the beat, and then I think the next day I came back in Southside. That's when I got a chance to like kick it with Southside. So me, Southside, Herb, we was in the studio. Herb had a few of his people in there. We was kind of just chilling, and then me and Southside got a chance to connect, and then yeah, like they kept the chops that I did. Like I had some different drums on them, like they kept the chops I did, but I had different drums. They stripped the drums, and Southside, shout out to Southside, he added his own.
But I feel like if you know that's what he do. Like that's what he do. Yeah. I feel like even in his collabs with Metro Boomin, like them drums mostly be him. Yeah. Cause he just got that sound. Like, his drum pattern and his snare is just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, he snapped though. Shout out to Southside. Yeah, so that's how that shit came about, bro. Really. So
that's lit. So if you had let's say 3 artists that you could do a collab tape with, what 3 artists are you picking?
I think off the bat I'm picking Rick Ross. Dead or Alive? I'm going Rick Ross, Kendrick, and probably Drake, bro.
Drake?
Yeah. Ross, Kendrick, and Drake.
Niggas sleep on Ross production. Man, if it's one thing that nigga can do is choose a beat.
Is crazy.
Facts. If it's one
you heard Santorini Grace?
That's my favorite. Well, what's son that produced for a lot of whole shit. Yeah. He's from VA. Yeah. I spoke to him on Instagram before because I was playing that song. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I did my.
Hank did that joint. Yeah, he's from the 7-5. Yeah, he's an OG in the game. Yeah, I met Bank at the studio. Like met him before we was in there. But yeah, I definitely met Bank. He's a legend. Yeah. But he did some shit. He was he did like a couple of joints on Blueprint. Yeah, and just some other shit too. Like Kanye, like he's a legend. So
that's why I be saying I'm like I be fake doing my little student research because I feel like if I fuck with like that song right there, that Scenery Increase. Yeah. I fuck with that song so hard. I said, yo, who the fuck is producing this? Yeah. And I had to go and dig in, do my research. I'm like, oh, it's Bing. Yeah. Then I'm like, all right, let me see what else he's done. Like, you feel me? And then I'm going in the Blueprint and all this other shit. Like, you feel me? And that's no funny shit. That's how I be knowing about a lot of producers. Like, that's how I know about Southside, Metro, Sunny Digital. Yeah. TM88, cause of Gucci Man. I was listening to Gucci Man and I'm like, yo, who the fuck are these niggas? Who are these niggas making these beats? Like these beats is crazy. Yeah. And then you do your research I'm like, oh, alright, like that's
Metro, Southside,
and this is before niggas. This is before the tags and all that. Niggas going crazy, like you feel me? So
bro,
you just gotta be doing your research.
Nah, for sure, you gotta be a student.
Facts.
Yeah, exactly, you gotta be a student.
Facts, cause back then they was going crazy. It's like you could see like. I feel like back then Lex Luger was probably the OG, like, cause he fake had it, like, at that time of like MC Hammer, all that, like.
Yeah, for Ross, yeah.
Yeah, he was going crazy, like, he was the most, he had the most notoriety.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he
was
definitely
like a big homie. I feel.
Yeah. I mean, just to kind of go off of that, I mean, he coined that sound. You know, it was really Lex, and then 808 Mafia, the like Southsides and Metro and Sunny Digital and DJ Spans, and you know they came in after, but it was really like Lex who kind of really coined that Atlanta trap, more so trap sound, you know. So
that was definitely, I feel like, the beginning of it, that trap sound.
Yeah,
that we know.
Right.
You know they had trap with Young Jeezy.
Right.
Before that.
Right. Shawty Red.
Right.
Yeah, producers
but
like that.
That sound there was like
that was
Lex Luger, and then he put them under.
Because remember that sound is I feel like as far as like on a mainstream scale, that sound was introduced on Watch the Throne with Ham. Like Lex produced Ham with him and Southside. Yeah.
That's a fact. I forgot Southside was on that too.
Yeah. So
for sure.
But that's when Lex was like working with like Juicy J and like, you know, Rick, like he was working with everybody. So that was kind of introduced on the mainstream scale with Watch the Throne. So
what? Not to say like this, but like what you feel like happened with Lex Luger? Like I feel like he just kind of fell off the face of the earth at some point. Like he just, I feel like a couple Lex Luger. I feel like Bueller that Lil Durk was fucking with in like the beginning of his career. Like you feel me? Like that nigga just fell off the face of the earth. One of my most underrated producers, Tarantino, who did March Madness, I believe. I don't know where this nigga is at. March Madness is like one of the greatest beats ever created.
Yeah, classic Future.
Yeah, like you feel me? And I feel like niggas just like, they be doing their shit, they be having the most fire shit in the world, and then like just never hit them.
I don't know, bro. I feel like everybody's I mean, journey is kind of different. Like, I don't know why they may have, you know, I don't know if they just kind of just wanted to take a break or if they fell off. I don't know what the case is, but I feel like all them dudes, they probably still are making music, you know. But like I said, I don't know, bro. I can't really speak on them because I don't know for sure, but I feel like they still probably make music, you know. I can't really say why they may have just like maybe are not as much as like in the limelight as far as some of these other producers, but I feel like they still all make music. So,
what you feel like is like the most important thing of like being alright, like at your level now that you at, like what you feel like is your next thing? Like I said, you mad humble, but like how do you get to that next level of like? Cause I feel like right now, or for some years now, let me not say right now, for some years, niggas is really paying Metro Boomin for that tag. For that tag in the beginning, when niggas hear that, it's automatically like you already feel like it's gonna be fire. Like you feel me? So what you feel like is the next step for you? Like, so.
I think for me, as HollyWood Cole, I think it's breaking the artist. You know what I mean? I feel like if you look at some of the OGs, bro, and just like even like the Metros and the Sunny Digitals and people like that, and the Cardos and the Boy Wonders, I feel like if you look at like their journeys, just like everybody was able to break an artist, you know. Cardo and Sledgen had Wiz, Boy Wonder had Drake, Pharrell had The Clips, Timbo had Missy, he had Leah. So I feel like for me, my thing right now, like I'm blessed and I'm able to get placements, which I'm very thankful for, but I think the main thing for me to like kind of take me to the next level is like breaking artists. You know, so I feel like you don't really get the notoriety, but really the respect and stamp as a real producer until you really break an artist, because it's just like they want to fuck with your sound, you know. It's just
and
like
y'all become that 1-2 punch kind of thing. Like,
you know what I mean? So
I feel like Young Thug had that too in London. Like him, like really, because don't get me wrong, like fucked with a lot of the artists. I mean, producers, but at that time it was like when him and London did some shit.
Right. Magic. Right. So yeah, bro. So to answer your question, like I said, I think for me it's really really just kind of breaking the artists, and it's artists that I really fuck with out here. Like my boy Will Hill, like he's originally from here, but he's got roots in the West, and it's a different sound coming from Atlanta. And we did 3 projects in less than like 2 years, and he went from having 2,000 streams to now streaming 300,000 streams, you know. And we did that, thank you. We did that less than, like I said, 2 years. So that's, you know, like I said, to answer your question, it's really just me breaking the artist, you know. Like I said, bringing people into like more so my world and the artist world that I'm working with, you know. So, you know.
You ever heard a beat and you like, damn, I wish I made this.
All the time. All the time.
I
be sick, man. I be hearing some points. I be like, man, damn.
I ain't gonna lie. One beat. I don't make no beats, but one beat I feel like, damn, I wish I made this beat was Danny Glover.
Oh, dog.
Okay, that beat is so hard.
Classic.
I be like, yo, I really wish I made this beat right here. Like,
that's a classic. Yeah. That's like Prime Thug too.
Yeah, that's
Prime
like
Thug.
that's when niggas was like, you feel me, calling him out his name. I ain't fucking with him. I told you man, I said, yo, nah, this nigga is nice.
Yeah,
he's
dumb
nice. Like, well, this nigga wear dresses.
Prime
Thug, nice.
Prime Thug.
But yeah, like give us some beats off the top of your head that you like.
Damn, you put me on the spot. Damn. Oh, you got me on the spot. Damn, I'm trying to think. It's something that I heard. I was like, damn.
So fire, like.
Yeah, many joints. I just can't like.
Yeah, it's hard
like
to,
right now.
you
Trying
hear
to
it, like,
pinpoint a song.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. But it's definitely joints that I heard. I was like, damn, they went crazy, like. You know, so.
What you if you had to put a top 5 producers?
Actually,
list.
no.
What?
You know what I just heard recently that I wish I would have did?
What's up?
Savior by Kendrick, the new shit.
I ain't even listened to his new shit yet. I gotta, and that's my nigga right there. He got one of those on there?
Savior is crazy. Savior and Silent Hill and the joint he did with damn, you didn't hear it, but it's a back and forth record. It's I think it's with Taylor Green, but Savior and Silent Hill's one with Kodak, and then Savior is with King. But Savior, crazy. Like nigga, they sampled what happened to that boy, but they sampled the snare. So like the same, like the snare pattern, they used that on Savior, but that beat is crazy. Crazy. So like that's like something recently I was like, okay,
level.
Crazy.
I ain't listened to Kendrick shit yet because I mean niggas got time. You know that nigga ain't playing for a minute, but it's like I feel like I gotta really like his shit. You gotta listen to 100 times to really. Every time even like Good Kid, like every time I listen to that shit, I'm gonna get something new out of that. The new listen. Yeah. I can hear a song like "Sing About Me" down at Thirst. I can hear that shit 1,000 times. That 1,001 time, I'm gonna pick up some shit I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually top 5 producers.
Yeah. Oh, top 5 producers.
Top 5 producers.
Jay Dilla, Pharrell, Kanye. Quincy Jones. That's 4. Shit, probably Timbo. Yeah, that's 5 right there. Dilla, Pharrell, Kanye, Quincy Jones, and Timbo.
Jay Dilla, that threw me for a loop. You said that's one of your favorites.
Come on, he's a legend.
He is.
Legend.
Cause niggas be forgetting about him, like
legend. As far as hip hop shit, bro, and swing, and as far as like having the masses like change the way they make beats and the way they, you know what I mean? Like I would say Jay Dilla, bro. Like Jay Dilla really is the go to like this hip hop shit, and it's crazy because he never really got the he never had like a major song, like a Billboard or anything like that, but it's more so like the impact, even since he's been, you know, since he passed away, like it's like the impact of him from working with Common to like Kendrick, he was influenced, like Kendrick was influenced to, he did shit for Erykah Badu, to The Roots, to, you know, like A Tribe Called Quest, like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of that later Tribe stuff was like all Dilla, you know, so it's just like, D'Angelo to, you know what I mean? Like,
he's definitely good.
Yeah, bro. Like,
nigga, see, my son he got his own kind of genre.
But you got and the thing is, like, Kanye and all these other producers that came after, like, they all were influenced by him. Like the way Dilla chopped his samples in the way, like I say, he swung his drums. Like, that's why I say Jay Dilla's like #1 for me. And then it's the Kanyes, the Pharrells, and the Timbos, and Quincy Jones, because Quincy Jones, like, he produced Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, he produced Thriller. That's on my wall right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, Quincy Jones.
He in a whole different package. Right?
And then I look at it too. It's just like, bro, like Quincy, like he won the for Thriller. That's when he won his first, I want to say, Grammy. I think.
First one.
I believe so, for Thriller. You know what I mean? He was like 40.
They probably couldn't, you know, they be trying to ignore me, but Thriller, you couldn't ignore, bro. Crazy. Crazy. So they probably had to, like, all right, let's go.
Don't quote me, but I think it was his first Grammy.
Yeah.
I believe so. But I know he produced Thriller.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I ain't gonna lie, producers back then, that's a whole different bag. I feel like they was really musically inclined.
Bro, it's hard. It's so easy to make music now. It's so easy to just go on YouTube and just like learn how to make a yeet type beat. You know what I mean? And like that's why these kids think, like you said, like you kind of mentioned earlier, like to bring it back to the earlier conversations, it's like that's why these kids think it's like, you know, overnight type shit. But like, man, it's so easy to just go on YouTube and make how to make a Bryson Tiller type beat, how to make a Jid, or how to make a 22Gs, or how to make a Cardi B type beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bro, Fabio. Like, it's easy to just go on how to make a Pop Smoke type beat, because that's just kind of like the power of the internet. But
yeah, but
it was different back then, bro. They didn't have social media, yeah.
Like, and they was using multiple instruments. It'll be like 3 beats in a beat,
and cut into tape, bro. Like, we have Pro Tools now. Like back then, bro. Like, if you fuck up, nigga, we gotta cut the tape and
do the whole thing from there, from when we cut it.
And that's why I feel like Michael Jackson is so special, bro. Because like I've heard stories to where it's like, yo, if you've been in the studio with Mike, it's just like, man, if you really listen to like his acapella vocals, bro, like he got so much, like, it's not even pain. It's just more so just like. Just him in the music, like, and he wasn't messing up.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like I said, it was definitely a different era. I'm glad I'm in this era, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm definitely aware of like what they went through and like, you know that time frame. So
you feel like, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like sometimes I feel like this generation don't make original music at all. Like, don't get me wrong, because back in the day they was sampling a lot too, and they did a lot of remixes. But I feel like now it's like, damn, like every motherfucking song is a remake or a heavy sample so bad that it's basically a remake. Like, you feel me? Like, then it's kind of like no originality now. It's like, damn, can I have a new song? Like, you feel me? Like,
yeah.
Or like, and a lot of songs don't have a lot of music. Period. Doesn't have longevity. You listen to some shit for like a month.
Right.
If you get to a month, like, you know, you might get to a week, you might get to 2 days, like, you like, oh, this shit trash.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of just like the landscape and just like the state of music, bro. It's just like everything's microwave, but it's just so saturated, you know? Like, think about it. Every Friday, it's like 10,000 artists that drop music. You know what I mean? So it's just like we bombarded with so much music, and I feel like that's why it's just hard for people to basically just like nobody can like sit with the music, you know? Yeah, bro. You don't get a chance because just like think about it, like you it's so much access on our phones. So it's just like I feel like back in the day, it's just like, nigga, if you had $20, nigga, you could only get one album. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like with this like subscribing for $10 a month. This allows you to listen to A-Marie. This allows you to listen to Aaliyah. This allows you to listen to Drake. It allows you to listen to Pop Smoke. It allows you to listen to everything. But it's just like back then, it's just like, man, probably like when we was coming up as kids, it's like, man, if you got 20, you can only get the Dynasty. You can only get, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can only listen to that. So it's just like, it was more so word of mouth. You know, like, nigga, if you had the new 50 joint, like Get Rich Start Trying, like that was more so word of mouth thing. Like, it's not like everybody had access to it on their phone. So to answer your question, I just feel like everything is it's just saturated.
So you can't really like me. That's why I feel like niggas can't really judge Kendrick shit after a day or 2 days or a week. Bro. You feel me?
Niggas have an opinion after fucking 10 hours.
Right. Niggas don't want another album after 2 days.
Right, bro.
Like, yo, when's the next album? Like, nigga, how did you really listen to my shit in 2 days?
You didn't.
Yeah, bro. And I see you got my favorite movie in the joint, Dead President.
Come on,
that
man.
soundtrack is ridiculous. That soundtrack, I ain't gonna lie, that might be the greatest soundtrack of all time, bro. That Isaac Hayes, the Al Green, the
classic movie.
I just watched that shit last week too. It was in the Bronx, so that had an extra little.
A little off to it. Yeah, that's classic.
That's my shit.
Yeah.
I was listening to A Boogie song. I think it's Right Back. It's one of my favorite joints off that album too. And they got like 7 fucking tags on it. I'm just like, how does this work?
That's crazy.
Nah, no. I'm gonna play this shit for you too. No exaggeration. They got at least 5 tags on that shit.
That's sick.
And it's sampled from
It's a sample too. I gotta hear the song. Damn. Yeah, the Tupac shit.
But it wasn't originally Tupac. I think it was.
I imagine, but Tupac sampled.
Right.
I'm not original, but he sampled somebody here. Yeah.
So that's the sample. And then they got 7 tags. And
bro, that's sick. I ain't gonna you. Yeah, I mean, it just depends, bro. Like, it could be somebody who's a sample maker and like they actually just like make samples from scratch. It could be like we in the crib now and like, you know what I'm saying, you add the kick in the snare, I add the melody. Like it kind of just depends, but sometimes, bro, when it be 5 producers, like they don't really, it's not even like really 5 producers on the track. Like it may be like one producer that just put that shit together. He didn't even touch the drum pad. He didn't touch the melody. Like it's kind of like like you said, it's subjective, bro. But most of the times it's probably like 1 or 2 producers. And probably just 1. You know, so
Kanye producing. Because I've heard stories like. How do you think, as somebody that just you may or may not know exactly the specifics, but how do you feel like his producing is? I feel like now, it's totally different from when he started. I think he has like stages.
Okay.
From when he started to like a middle stage of being like fucking Lamborghini Mercy. Like, I heard stories about that song to now, which I don't really favor his some shit now, but I feel like there's a whole nother other shit going on. Like, how do you feel like when you hear his shit, like, cause I feel like y'all have some similarities from when he first started making beats and sampling and shit like that. Am I bugging? Like,
nah, I mean, I appreciate the blessing.
Nah, not even like that. Like, not even trying to, like, you feel me? But I'm just saying, like, in terms of sampling, like, you feel me? The sampling is similar. Like, I see, like, that you was heavy Kanye inspired. Like, you feel me?
For sure, yeah.
But now, I don't know what the fuck he's doing now, but just, I feel like he just has stages of producing, and I feel like maybe even now, or before, a little before now, he's not really that hands-on as he used to be, like solely producing music.
I think he is.
Think so?
I think so. Cause I mean, Kanye's just he's a music guy. You know, I feel like Kanye's still very in tune with the music as far as like production. I feel like now he's kind of like he may be sourcing a few people as far as like drums and stuff, but I feel like he's still very like like very hands-on. I don't feel like he's on a Khaled to where Khaled's not Khaled's not touching the drum pad. Khaled's more so kind of putting the rooms together. I don't feel like Kanye's doing that at all. I feel like Kanye's still hands-on, you know? It might not be the same as far as making a whole beat, but majority, like probably 90% of that is probably Kanye, you know? But I mean, like, it just kind of goes back to like the collab situation to where having other producers, I mean, sometimes you can't do everything by yourself, so, you know, you may have a good ear for samples, and I may be Kanye, you might just want to throw me like an old, you know what I mean, like some shit for Jay, like, you know what I mean, like, you never know, so, but I feel like Kanye is still hands-on, bro. I don't feel like, I mean, he's just such a, he's a musical genius, so, you know, I feel like he's still pretty much hands-on, if you ask me.
So Kanye call you like, yo, let's do something together, but you gotta put the Balenciaga Crocs on. you gotta put the
not the Crocs
pants on, and you gotta put the leather coat on at 100 degrees.
I told you.
Am I bugging, or everybody that he works with is doing it?
I told you, I'm gonna be like, man,
fuck it.
I'm a size 10, bro. I got some samples for you. We can chop them shit up. Nigga, it's Kanye, you know? Like,
I feel you.
It's Kanye, bro.
I feel like niggas that, like, I feel like that's like he tells niggas like, yo, I'm gonna fuck with you, but you gotta style you.
You gotta rock my shit.
Yeah, like I gotta style you. But them niggas, Deadass, he had Fabio in the shit. I feel like everybody that's around him gotta wear this like Kanye uniform.
Man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I'm a fan of certain shit, you know? You know what I mean? Like,
even now, I don't really be seeing him wear his own shit no more.
I fuck with certain shit, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Kanye, shout out to Kanye, man. I don't really got too much to say about Ye. He's a genius, bro. He's a genius. I'm heavily influenced by Ye.
Yeah.
So, I'll leave it at that, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a genius.
Watching Martin, how the fuck you came up with your talent?
Cole, you stupid.
Just watching shit.
Watching Martin. It's funny because at first, like if you go on my computer, I can find it for you. But my first tag was it was always Cole, you stupid, like. But my name was different. It wasn't HollyWood Cole. It was Cole Beats with a Z. But I always had the tag. But my sister, she had said the tag first. Like she said, Cole, you stupid. That shit was terrible.
But that was a reference.
Yeah.
That was a reference.
But it was from this. Yeah, it was from this. Yeah. But it was whack. That shit was trash. So then I actually really got on YouTube and I found Tommy saying, Cole, you stupid, and I've been running with that shit ever since, bro.
That's
no problems. Like, yeah, no problems with like Clinton, like nothing like that. So I'm good.
So nobody never even like.
You know what's crazy? Bink actually, I was in the studio with Bink, and Bink was like, "Yo, you should change your tag." Like he actually said that to me, and I was like, I asked him why, and I was like, "Man, I just been
running it out."
Yeah, man.
Till we meet that.
Yeah, till I cross that, till I get to that bridge, bro, cross that road, like, you know, I'm good, but I haven't had any problems. Like, I'm gonna keep running with it, you know. So. And I don't put it on every beat because sometimes, like certain beats, it may sound off. I may put it at the end of the beat. It may not need to be there at the beginning.
I was definitely about to ask you about that too, because a couple of the joints, I don't think they had it on it, like the Meek Mill one.
Nah.
So how does that, like?
Yeah, Corday didn't have it, Meek didn't have it, Herb had it, BB King had it, Zay had it, as they were shot, but with that instance, it's just like they may have just like the artist may have just like not wanted the tag on it too. So it's just like if I'm not in the studio with Meek, that's like my man's like you know I don't really have any say as far as like you know as far as the tag. So but shout out to everybody that you know kept the tag.
Cause I peeped and you know who be violating their tags?
Who?
Weezy.
What you mean?
Weezy, like that nigga makes his shit part of the song. Like it's like it sometimes be a climactic.
Oh yeah, you have no
song.
choice. Yeah, you have no choice.
And he put that shit on there, and it's like you on the spot.
Yeah.
And the DJ just said it like.
Yeah.
He did that with the song with Gunna and Playboy Cardi. I think him and Turbo was just going back and forth with it, like Weezy out of here, and then Herbo put his shit on there, like,
yeah,
and that shit literally became part of the song.
Yeah. Shout out to them guys, and they legends, but yeah, bro, it's kind of just all dependent, you know, on the artist too. So, like I said, some people don't want tags. Like, you know, Beyonce just, I don't want a quote tag. I'm taking my tag away.
Fact.
You know, it's Beyonce.
I feel like sometimes though it's necessary, like depending on the song. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
Back in the, you know, before, I feel like I said, Metro kind of, he didn't create it. He kind of coined it with his tag, like, of where they gonna just use the shit. But before that, like singles and big songs like that, they didn't really have a tag on it like that. Like,
nah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I think that like the whole tag situation that kind of came about in like shit. Really, when I think when we were like seniors. You know, in high school type shit, like 2009, 2010, like I think that's when like the tags were first starting, like, okay, make a jump on like a lot of like the mixtape shit, like a lot of Gucci, like a lot of just more so mixtape era. And I feel like ever since then, when Future came around, like you started hearing Metro's tag, 808 Mafia, you know what I'm saying, like Lex Luger, like shit like that. So I feel like more so around that time, but I fuck with the tag because it's all about branding as a producer too, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, like, actually it's funny because Hit Boy just said that in the interview. He was like, man,
he don't have a tag, right?
He has one now, but it's just like he was saying, like, basically when he did Niggas in Paris, it's just like, just think about the time when that shit dropped and he did have this Hit Boy tag. You know? It could have brought him more so just like how Mustard had a tag, Mike Will had a tag, and they were just like elevated so crazy at the time, but like Hit Boy didn't have a tag, but like now you hear his tag all the time, you know? So.
That's because you don't gotta do the work to see. You know, everybody ain't gonna do their due diligence. It's like, all right, I'm about to go look in to who did this, but the tag you hear, like, all right,
you know that tag. Even if you, like I said, you probably like somebody could be just not even like a musical person and want to even do the research and be who, like look up who the producer is, you know. But when you gonna know the tag, like you gonna know Metro's tag. Like it's white kids that are in Utah that know Metro Boomin wants some more to kids in the Bronx that know the tag. You know what I'm saying?
And that nigga got like three popular tags like that. You hear. If your Metro don't trust you, Metro Boomin wants some more. He got like 3 of them shits that Metro.
Metro, That's the
niggas know.
That's a thug joint too. Yeah. So, bro. Tag helps because, like I said, this at the end of the day, it's all kind of branding and branding yourself as a producer. So. I'm kind of in a good space because niggas fuck with my tags, so I'm good. They fuck with my tags, so it's all good. It's all good.
So, alright, up and coming, and then also producers that you want to work with.
Cardo. Cardo's a beast.
For producers that you want to work with.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to work with Cardo. Definitely want to lock in with him.
And what specific beats has he made? Because I know niggas know the name.
So I think his first, I mean, he did damn near half a cushion OJ, but I think like his first, like his big joints was like, what's the Kendrick and Travis song?
Goosebumps.
He did Goosebumps. He did.
See, I didn't even know that.
He did Goosebumps. That's just like multi-platinum. He did God's Plan. He did Seen It All, Jeezy and Jay. He did that shit. That was all him. Shit for Schoolboy Q. I mean, he did the shit with her and YG. What's that?
Slide.
He did Slide.
Slide is my shit.
He did Slide. Like he's very versatile. He did a lot of shit. So Cardo is one. I feel like
about to put them boots on,
man.
About to put them.
Hey, I'm strapping them joints on, nigga. But nah, I feel like I definitely want to work with Kanye. I feel like man, if I feel like I would get Kanye back to
that.
I feel like
a lot of niggas have said that.
No, but I'm gonna tell you, bro, because I'm different than a lot of producers, and I feel like Ye would fuck with me because I come from like the sample shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like I said,
and I feel like he's around a whole bunch of fire producers. You know, everybody that he's around, they're crazy, but I feel like I feel like if he works with me, I feel like it would kind of bring him back to like the late registration, those type of times. And I feel like he might get a different burst and be like, like
he's back in that. Let's spin that.
I feel like I could bring that. I feel like I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stand on camera. I feel like I could bring that Kanye back.
Bring Kanye back. That's what.
I feel like I could bring that Kanye back, and I'm gonna stamp that. You know, I feel like
somebody got to do it. Cause
I feel like I could do it. I know I can. Cause I come from that. I come from that soulful type shit, and I feel like I know I can do that.
Somebody has to do it, bro. Cause I can't.
I just gotta meet him. I never got a chance to meet him.
It's definitely.
It's happening. Yeah, it's happening. It's gonna happen. But I feel like when I meet Ye, bro, I feel like man, he's gonna fuck with my sample choices and just like the way I chop samples and shit, you know? So.
And it's crazy. Well, I'm not gonna say this last album because I couldn't finish that shit. But even in what was the album before this with Bam 2 on it? I feel like Bam.
Talking about the pop joint. Yeah.
That was the one song where it was like hope, like throughout the whole
30
album.
Hours, nigga, 30 hours and no more parties in LA is crazy.
Hey, that Bam 2 was the sample. I was like, alright, like it's still a little bit of Kanye there. You feel me? Like,
no more parties and 30 hours. Even though no more parties was that Madlib? I think Madlib did that joint, but still, those were like that's yay. Bound is crazy.
Bound was I feel like it was a little soulful at least. Like because he had. I was arguing with my mans the other day of bringing Kanye album, so you gotta let's give it your 5 from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5. Top to bottom.
I'm gonna go top to bottom. First one is late registration.
That's what I said.
For me.
Okay.
Number 2 is probably late registration. Number 1, college dropout. Late registration, college dropout. Yeah, so I would put then graduation at like. No, I would probably put Twisted Fantasy at 3. So late registration, college dropout, Twisted, graduation, and then I might have to say. Yeah, probably 808s. Yeah. Cause at first I'm not gonna hold you, I didn't like 808s at first. Then we was in high school. Like I didn't really like that shit at first, but then I understood it and
just try to respect it. Right?
You know, so like I said, late registration, I forgot the order, but late registration, college dropout, graduation, Twisted, and
Do you make a certain amount of beats a day, or like how do you work? That's what the fuck. I was trying to remember what
I go off vibe, bro. Like I'm not a producer that's gonna sit there and make like 15 beats in a day. I'm more so like quality over quantity. So it's just like, man, I'm gonna play Call of Duty. I'm gonna go to the bar with my boys. Like, you might go get some food, you might get some sushi. I might go kick it with, you know what I'm saying, whoever, whatever. I might listen to an audiobook. I might go chill with moms. Like, I don't like, the way I work, I don't make like 20 beats in a day. Like I said, I'm more so quality over quantity. So, if I'm feeling it, I'm gonna make some shit. I don't like to force anything. And I feel like that's like something like in my career too, is just like everything's kind of been organic. Like nothing's ever been like forced to the point where like, I'm hitting up this A&R to like get me to 2G's, or I'm hitting up this A&R to get me to like Drake, or like, you know, something like that. So I like to be organic, so I don't make 20 beats in a day. On a good day, I may make like 8 ideas, but I may finish 3 to 4, you know what I'm saying? So I may make like quick 8 ideas, but really like finish into like beats that I really like fuck with, probably like 3 or 4. Like I said, I don't really like the force shit, bro. Like, you know, I'm trying to stand out. I'm trying to make sure I'm different. So yeah. Yeah, what's next? Shit a lot, bro. Breaking artists, sync placements, doing shit for 2K, you know, being on video games, soundtracks, and all that type of shit. So, and even just like more so kind of stepping into like a executive producer role too, you know? Like kind of stepping away from like being on the beats, but more so just like, they fuck with me because like my ear, and like I could come in you know, help
So
out.
you can have a Dead President soundtrack.
For sure.
Facts.
You know, so
that shit epic.
Yeah, bro. So and even scoring too. Like I definitely want to get into like scoring.
Yeah.
Like scoring for like movies and like, you know, a TV show, like jingles, all that type of shit. So like I said, not just limiting myself to rap shit and R&B shit. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I want to work with pop artists. I want to work with international, you know. So I try not to like box myself in and like limit myself, man, because sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, I'm trying to have my hands in like everything, you know. So yeah, bro.
But I appreciate you, my boy.
My guy, you appreciate you, brother.
You did it though.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good shit. We out of here,
We out, baby.
All right.
Cole, you stupid.